Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber. A federal grand jury has indicted U.S. Representative Jeff Fortenberry of Nebraska, accusing him of lying to the FBI and concealing information from federal agents. We have the latest details now in our top story at 5. The accusations come as federal agents were investigating campaign contributions that were funneled to Fortenberry from a Nigerian billionaire. Gilbert Chagoury sent $180,000 to 4 U.S. politicians between 2012 and 2016. More than $30,000 was donated to Fortenberry's campaign. The 9-term Republican is proclaiming his innocence, saying he told agents what he knew and understood during 2 rounds of questioning.
We're shocked. We're stunned. I feel so personally betrayed. We thought we were trying to help. And so now we will have to fight.
Fortenberry's campaign has said he did not know the origin of the donation, which the campaign received during a fundraiser in Los Angeles. And Republicans in the Senate tonight are against President Joe Biden's proposal to expand the reporting of taxpayer information that's coming from financial institutions to the IRS. And our Washington correspondent Basil John explains.
It's a stupid idea.
Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley and other Republicans called Democrats' plan to expand reporting of financial information an invasion of privacy.
They don't want the peering eyes of the IRS snooping on them.
The proposal, part of President Biden's Build Back Better agenda, would require banks to provide data on accounts with annual deposits or withdrawals that meet a certain threshold.
The vast majority of Americans have accounts that will go through $600 in a year. And if they raise it to $10,000, it'll still capture everybody.
Pennsylvania Republican Senator Pat Toomey says the IRS has a track record of discriminating against conservative organizations and doesn't believe the collected information will be useful.
They'll just get flooded with massive number of individual and small business accounts for which it'll have a dollar amount that means nothing.
The White House criticized Republicans, saying this proposal is meant to target the wealthy, not average Americans.
We're talking about high net worth individuals who are not paying the taxes they owe, and that's what this policy would propose to address.
And Democratic senators, like Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown, says Republicans aren't looking out for the middle class.
Every time anybody tries to say the rich should pay their fair share, the billionaires unleash their lobbyists who come around the Capitol like locusts.
With all sides still negotiating, the proposal may not make it into the final reconciliation bill. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
A Sioux City man was found guilty by a jury of attempted murder for shooting at cars on I-29 last year. 40-year-old Jamie Powell was found guilty of several charges now, which include 2 counts of attempted murder. Powell was arrested in December 2020 after police say he shot a gun at vehicles on I-29 while driving before intentionally crashing into a motorcycle. Police say both Powell and that motorcyclist ended up in a ditch. The motorcyclist was critically injured. Powell was also charged with 2 counts of vehicle theft. The jury also found him guilty of 2 lesser charges. Those were driving those vehicles without the owner's consent. Nebraska courts have released a nonprofit group's reports on prison overcrowding in the state. This comes after the governor's office refused to release that information. The report now shows that Nebraska's prison population grew by 21% between the years 2011 and 2020, even though overall admission to the system decreased. That is attributed to inmates staying in longer with more mandatory minimum sentences. The 100-page analysis was done by the Crime and Justice Institute. The price of gas and groceries we know has been increasing, but it's not because of a shortage of supply. Rather, there's a shortage of truckers to make the deliveries.
Public's seeing it now because, things like local deliveries, gas, milk, aren't getting delivered as frequently as they were.
Since trucking is regulated by the feds, the pool of applicants can be small. Drivers cannot use marijuana even if it's legal in their state, and soon they will also have to be vaccinated against COVID-19.
Drivers, frankly, don't want to be vaccinated. They're in a cab of their truck, a lot of the time. For whatever reason, they've made their decision that they're not going to get vaccinated. We could lose a significant percentage of our drivers who just say, I'm not going to do it, and that's going to put more pressure on our supply chain.
The White House tonight has announced plans to try and fix the labor and supply shortage. However, no timeline has been announced. And that worker shortage has impacted a wide variety of industries, and trades are no exception tonight. But more than 1,000 Siouxland kids got a taste of what some of the trade industries have to offer. Today's Build My Future event at the Expo Center created craftsmen from fields such as construction, welding, carpentry, and electrical work, among many others. Kids came from more than 24 schools across the tri-state area. Alex Corbin is the owner of Morningside Plumbing, and he says he hopes this hands-on nature of the trade draws the interest of more young people.
The younger you start, the faster you pick up on things, and right now is a perfect opportunity too, because everyone's looking for help. So if you are interested in any trade, go to your local shops and apply, and I'm sure anyone will at least look at you.
Coming up tonight at 6, you can tune in to hear from some of the students and see if they think the event will help attract more kids into the trade industry. And it's time now for our first check on the weather. Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson with us. And Scott, one of those interesting days and nights, because last night some people might have wanted to turn a little heat on. Today, you might have wanted the AC in your car. Quite the swing.
Yeah, Mother Nature provided the heat this afternoon out there, Sophie, with highs getting up to between 70 and 80 degrees. We had a high of 74 this afternoon in Sioux City, 75 in Denison, and 78 today in Omaha. So it was on the warmer side of things, and that's really been true of most of the month of October so far. 14 of the 19 days in the month of October for Sioux City, we've had above average temperatures, but that will start to swing tonight as we bring in some cooler air and an unusual chance of seeing a severe thunderstorm happen even inside of the green area on your screen. There may be a storm or two that produces some 1-inch sized hail moving through the early morning hours of Wednesday. We'll have more details on that and what lies ahead for the weekend coming up in the 9 on 9 forecast. Sophie?
All right, thanks a lot, Scott. We'll check back. A 20-year-old was hospitalized for injuries she sustained in a crash involving a deer Monday night. That crash happened 8 miles southwest of the town of Stanton. The Stanton County Sheriff's Office says Jenna Drott of Stanton hit the deer while on the road, killing it. Her car then went into the ditch and hit a tree. Drott was treated at Norfolk Hospital for her injuries. The vehicle tonight is considered a total loss. For many older homes, lead can be hiding in things like paint and even the soil around them. A recent study by the Journal of the American Medical Association found that about 76% of Iowa children tested positive for some levels of lead in their blood, but only 3.6% having enough high levels to require further investigation. We spoke with Kevin Green of Siouxland District Health on why it's important to have your children tested.
And I think the things that we find, if our young children are affected by lead poisoning, it can cause developmental delays and really issues across their lifespan. So they're less likely to thrive as well, they're unable to learn, there's challenges that are faced to those blood lead poisoned children.
The CDC tonight recommends all children have blood tests for lead before they start kindergarten. If you noticed you're still dealing with lingering headaches after contracting COVID-19, a headache specialist says you're not alone.
When it comes to headaches, there has been also recent data, and there was actually an interesting study that looked at long-term neurologic complications following a COVID infection. And headache tends to be one of the most common long-term complications that we see after COVID.
Research is still being done to try and understand why exactly this happens. However, they do know the types of headaches vary from one person to the other. For example, someone who might have had migraines previously and then contracted COVID-19 might have even more severe migraines after. When it comes to treatment, there are different options available, including prescription medications, Botox injections for migraines, and even therapy. Well, it started back in 1946 with 11 teams and 160 players. The NBA now celebrates its 75th anniversary, and it's certainly evolved in those years. In the beginning, there was no robust following, and the NBA had little to no impact on societal issues in our country. Today, the 30 NBA franchises are worth at least $100 billion combined. The league has a fan base that stretches to each corner of the globe and a reputation of being a leader when it comes to social issues.
People can relate to the players in basketball. You can see them. You can feel them. There's fewer players, which means you get more interviews and get to know certain personalities more than you would in just about any other sport. I actually think that's a significantly important aspect of why basketball becomes much more at the forefront of societal change.
That change ranges from immense support for historically black colleges and universities to LeBron James leading a voting rights and registration push during the 2020 presidential election. Well, new technology is always making innovations, especially in the field of farming lately, and some first-generation farmers are making innovations of their own. How they get things growing, coming up in about 10 minutes.
And some changes in our weather are on the way as we can expect to have a wet and windy Wednesday out there. Seasonal highs in the 50s and 60s will follow, and a couple of rain chances are targeting Siouxland next week. Your 9 on 9 forecast straight ahead.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
I hope you got outside and enjoyed a little bit of this weather today, because as you keep reminding us, yes, it is mid to late October. These temperatures are not typical.
Yeah, it's a limited time offer for sure out there, Sophie. It looks like we'll start to feel the difference even as we move into tomorrow, as we'll have a strong cold front move through, and that's going to deliver some rain plus highs in the 50s and 60s. So as we look outside here on the Ho Chunk Center camera in downtown Sioux City, we still have sunny skies and some fairly mild conditions outdoors. The almanac for today shows that our high temperature was able to step to 74 this afternoon. That exceeds average by 13. The low temperature this morning also on the warmer end of normal. Right now in Sioux City, the temperature is at 74. We have a south wind streaming through at 13 miles per hour with a relative humidity of 43% and a dew point of 50 degrees. We should continue to watch humidity climb as we head through tonight, as we anticipate some showers and potentially even a couple of thunderstorms happening, leading the way into our Wednesday. Checking out temperatures as they currently stand, they're between 70 and 80 with some of the warmer spots in northeast Nebraska. 76 is our temperature in Norfolk, 77 degrees. Sunny on Monday and Tuesday. It looks like another cold front will take a dive through Siouxland by the time that we hit the middle of next week, and highs will be in the middle to upper 60s following that disturbance. Keep on sending those pictures to us. Weather at KCAUTV.com is the email address you want to send those to, and we'll feature your photos on air.
Yes, we need more. We do get some, but you have to remember to fill out that form for Scott.
Yeah, it's been kind of a trickle as of late, Sophie. We could use some more of those for sure.
Good reminder. Thanks a lot, Scott. Well, Queens is a new show about women making a comeback in rap. What to know before tonight's big premiere? That's coming up in about 7 minutes. But first, two farmers getting their fertilizer from an unlikely source. See how they're turning it into another stream of revenue. Coming up next. People living with cancer know it affects their whole family, but here in Siouxland, those fighting the disease have a whole community behind them. You'll meet a woman who won her battle and learn more about the hockey game helping others just like her in this week's edition of Siouxland Stories. Two first-generation farmers are doing things differently in North Carolina. Shannon Smith shows us how they're growing success.
The fish are just the first hint that this is not your typical farm.
They're rainbow trout. We get them from a hatchery in Virginia, one of the oldest hatcheries in the United States, actually.
The owners of Sour Creek Farm use fish to fertilize the 400 lettuce plants growing in their aquaponic greenhouse.
The fish waste gets broken down through the system and gets filtered out, and the good stuff that feeds the plants goes through the water and into the system.
We cut the root mass off. It's left with a perfect product, no real rotten stuff on the bottom like in the field.
So with no soil needed or room for weeds, the lettuce requires less work, grows twice as fast, and lasts longer than plants grown in the ground.
Tends to last 2 to 3 weeks in their refrigerator, which is our biggest compliment.
Madison and Sumter Smith grow plants in the ground too, but they don't use the typical tools for that farming either.
Kind of loosen up the soil.
No tractors or tillers. These two do all the work here by hand.
We're small scale, so we do it intensively. We focus on not only feeding our plants, but also feeding our soil so that for years to come, it'll be fertile and ready to go.
Next, they hope the trout will take their business to a new level.
The trout I would love to sell.
So in the future, this place could serve both fish and farm to table.
I do have a slime.
Getting a second shot to top the charts. That's the plot of the new TV drama Queens. We'll get a closer look at behind the scenes before the episode 1 airs next. There's a new TV show premiering tonight right here on ABC, and it's filled with queens of the music industry. So it only makes sense the title for the drama is Queens. ABC's Jason Nathanson spoke to the cast.
Sorry, this is my
The new
bad.
drama Queens is about a rap group that topped the charts more than 20 years ago.
My bro had a poster on the wall. Her? Really? What happened, Rude?
But the music industry has moved on without them, and they've traded rap battles for baby bottles. Queens stars 3 real-life chart toppers, Eve, Brandy, and Naturi Naughton. Brandy telling me it's a role that really spoke to her.
Just the entire struggle of, being, at the top of your game and then kind of losing it and getting an opportunity to do it again.
The women get a second shot at the music business. Eve says once she heard what the show was about, she signed on instantly.
And of course, obviously, Swiss Beats doing the music.
Super producer Swiss Beats, known for his work with Beyonce, Jay-Z, and more, is the executive music producer on the show. There's a bunch of new music in Queens, though Eve, who has a Grammy and 3 top 10 albums, didn't get a chance to write her own rhymes.
No, which thank God, we wouldn't have time. If I had to, it would be Old MacDonald Had a Farm over and over again because our production schedule is so tight.
Queens also stars Nadine Velasquez, a newcomer to the world of rap, who you might know from My Name is Earl and The League. It airs Tuesday nights on ABC. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
If you're interested, Queens premieres tonight at 9 o'clock right here on ABC. We take a live look outside right now. Scott returns with one more check on our forecast just after this break. First, a look at a sunny sky over Wayne, America. Before we wrap up here at 5, let's check in now with Tim for what's coming up at 6. Hi, Tim.
Yeah, Sophie will join you here in just a half an hour. One of the things we're looking at, South Dakota lawmakers, at least a legislative panel in South Dakota, says it's moving forward on a plan to legalize marijuana for people 21 and older in the state. But there is still some question if the legislature will even consider introducing that measure during the 22 session. Of course, that gets started in January. Closer look at 6. What do you want to be when you grow up? Well, it's a question that all of us probably heard at one point, and kids are asked it daily now in preschool even. An event in Sioux City today aims to help young people better answer that question. Find out what's being offered coming up in just a half an hour. And I'm guessing, Sophie, you would have answered journalist back in your day.
I did. I knew I wanted to be a journalist for a long time, so I was one of those atypical cases. My college professors kept trying to convince me to take other classes, but
Yeah.
I liked it then. And I
Same
liked
with
it.
being a meteorologist.
Really?
Yeah.
Lifelong dream. Well, here we are, and you get to tell people that this is probably one of the last 70-degree days we might feel, at least for a little while.
That's right. It's looking like a much more fall-like forecast out there with highs in the 50s and 60s, but we will have some 70s come back early next week.
All right, thanks, Scott. Thank you for joining us. We'll all see you here tonight at 6. Until then, have a great night.